everyone, this is Sean Broccoli here. In today's video we will be doing Trial 2 of the Fuka and Desco show for Disgaea 4 Complete Plus. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go straight to the first stage. So this one is fairly simple. You just got the Prinny and a bunch of, I think they're ninjas maybe? I can't remember what they're called. But basically all you'll want to do is bring out all your characters that would have, I guess, a large range of attacks or area of attack as well. So like your Desco, your Tyrant Valvatores, etc. And you're just going to want to throw everything you got at that group of female ninjas. You can also just send out someone to take out that Prinny. Obviously, Prinnies are weak to fire, so I do use Adele, who has a fire attack.
I can do it.
As far as this level goes, it's not too complicated, so just wreck the female ninjas and the Prinny, and that's it.
Time to bust some balls. I got this.
Let's go attack. I can do anything in my dream.
Ha! Burning fire! Get ready for this. This ain't so bad.
Alright, Now we're on to stage 2. Now this one's a bit more complicated. As you can see, the level is flooded with geopanels. So the first thing you're going to notice is at the bottom, there's a couple of geopanels, or geoblocks, sorry. Unfortunately, those ones you should not destroy, and you should get off that upper level before that timer goes off. Because what that will do is it will trap all your allies up there, and you won't be able to move, and that way you can't actually complete the map. Even with a mage with a long range, I don't know that you can actually complete the level from up there, especially with the masked hero all the way at the back up on a higher level. So the other aspect of this that's quite challenging is that the red geopanels, they have a 20% ally damage attribute. So you're going to take 20% damage at the end of every turn, or at the end of the enemy's turn, actually. So you'll not only take damage from the enemy itself, but also from the panels. There is a yellow geo block there that can be destroyed, and that will put the effect onto the panels for Mighty Enemy. Obviously, it's kind of a double-edged sword here. If you do that, you get rid of that the 20% damage, but you also cannot kill any of the enemies there. So you'll have to best gauge your team, and so your challenge here is going to be you either have to survive 9 turns taking 20% damage, or you have to destroy that geoblock and survive that amount of time, the 9 turns, taking damage from the enemy. Now, there's a couple ways that you could go around this. So the way that you're going to see in this video is I destroy everybody on the red panels, and I absorb the damage. If you have a healer, you could probably help reduce the amount of damage there, but it's going to be a bit iffy on whether or not your healer will survive, because the AI will probably target that character immediately. But what you'll notice is after I defeat everybody, and I'm waiting for that geoblock up top to change to the timer to go down to 0 and blow up, what I do is I put my characters all into a tower, and then that way only one character is taking 20% damage each turn, and then obviously some of the characters are going to die, so put the weaker characters at the bottom, and then as they die, they will drop to the bottom, and then that new character will start taking damage, etc., etc. The other way that and then once the timer goes to 0, that the yellow, which is Mighty Enemy, will turn to red, and you can attack the masked hero. So that's what you're going to see in this video. Another way that you can tackle this is you can if you can defeat the enemies quickly, like maybe a turn or two, you can proceed to destroy the yellow geoblock after that, and then that will get rid of the 20% damage. And then when the timer gets to 0 on the other one, it will turn all the yellow panels into red panels again, and then you should be able to destroy the masked hero. And then obviously the third option would be to just destroy that yellow geoblock immediately, and then try to survive 9 turns being attacked by the enemy, and then once the timer hits 0, then you can destroy the ninjas and the masked hero. So the second option is probably the easiest. So that's the one I'm going to recommend that you use. Alright, so stage 3, this one's not as difficult as it looks.
Time to bust
Um,
some balls.
it is a bit confusing, but it took me a while to figure this one out. So I'm actually going to I'm going to show a bit of the map beforehand, and then I'm kind of going to make a jump forward, because what ends up happening is there's a bunch of no entry geopanels that are underneath some of these crates. So basically, to kind of understand everything that's going on, I clear out all the boxes. So you won't actually have to replicate it in that way. You can just destroy what you need to get to the geoblocks that you need to remove. But yeah, we're gonna skip right to that. So you'll see I've pretty much cleared out the whole area. You can see where the two you can see where most of the geopanels are. You can see where there's 2 geoblocks. So one of the mistakes I made earlier in an earlier playthrough, I guess, was that I found that pink one geoblock, and I destroyed it, thinking, oh, that will fix it. And then obviously, it still had a no entry on it. So that kind of confused me a bit. So I ended up just clearing it the whole way, like you see now. And then I did find that blue geoblock as well, which is no entry. And then after finally destroying that block, I was able to finally pass the no entry panels and fight the enemies. The enemies are pretty much all mages and medics, so they shouldn't be too difficult to take out. Obviously, the problem with that is just going to be the amount of damage that they do, and that they sometimes do attack you while you're trying to clear your way through the boxes. But there's nothing really much to that past the challenge of finding where the geoblocks are and destroying them. And then once you're free of that, you can break through. It's up to you whether you want to destroy that red geoblock at the back. That will allow you to use ranged attacks, but it's a little... If you can lure the enemies onto those panels, it kind of benefits you more to keep it. But obviously, if you're just going to go straight for them and they're not on the panels at all, you probably want to be able to use some range attacks from where you are. So I'll leave that choice up to you. And then, yeah, there's not much to this level past finding the geoblocks.
Why you? Desco's gonna kill you! Closer to a final boss! I'm strong!
Okay, so Trial 2, Stage 4. It's probably one of the most difficult stages that I've ever played on this game. So the first thing I'm going to recommend is that you unlock Mount Ordeal and get Stage 4 of Mount Ordeal unlocked and use that to power level your characters up. The struggle with this one is that there's a lot of enemies. You can only have one guy out at once, and you pretty much have to clear a path through a lot of the enemies to get to the geoblock. And even when you get there, you have the 2 boss characters, Velvetoris and Fenric, to deal with. So you're going to want to get your characters pretty much, at least your main ones, at peak strength. And you can do that by utilizing Stage 4 of Mount Ordeal, which contains a bunch of gargoyles that are in a, I believe it's 100% experience geopanel. Uh, so basically, what you're going to see me do here is I'm going to use Desco and um, Tyrant Valvatores to kind of clear a path through, and I'm going to go and destroy the geoblocks. Eventually, I will fuse Desco or magic change Desco with Tyrant Valvatores to increase his power. That makes his Blood Sting a lot more powerful and very overpowered when it comes to Fenric and Valvatores. It can take him out pretty easily. Once you got the geoblock destroyed, then you can finally get out some of your team and you can start at least distracting a lot of the other enemies. Obviously, the best time to engage this stage would be when you have your characters at least near, I'd probably say 170, maybe 200. That way you'll stand a much better chance than I am with sub level 100. Well, I wouldn't say sub level 100, but you'll see most of my characters are like below 150. Tyrant Velvetoris will be above. I think he's in the 200s. But he's a pretty overpowered character, easy to use, so it's easy to level him up. Another thing that might make things easier is if you utilize the item world and start leveling up some items. That'll not only improve the amount of damage that you can deal with weapons, you could also improve the amount of defense you have, the speed, so you can dodge or evade some attacks. Other than that, you'll just have to clear a path through the ninjas and the necromancers, and then you'll just want to destroy that block as soon as you can. One of the geo blocks as soon as you can. Fenrix is probably the easiest because he jumps down almost right away. And then it's just all about clearing the map. Obviously, Fenric and Velvetoris will probably do the most damage. Focus on clearing the cannon fodder, and then focus your attention on Velvetoris and Fenric. Do keep in mind since we use Velvetoris and Fenric pretty often throughout the game, you know what their skills are and you know their patterns, so deploy your troops in a way that they can't use any of those big high-powered skills, especially the large area attacks, and utilize their weaknesses as well. Fenric is weak to water/ice, and Velvetoris is weak to fire. So Adele would be another good character to use against Velvetoris, where Ash would probably be a good option against Fenric. And then obviously Tyrant Velvetoris, he's got Blood Sting, which is very overpowered. You could use that on Fenric and Velvetoris, and that'll do pretty good damage, especially when you're magic changed with Desco. Other than that, there's really not much more to talk about. So that will do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. This is Sean Broccoli. I'll see you guys next time.
demon